Hello friends. So in this video I'm going to talk about how to create your CRUD application, that is using the front-end library, that is React, and using the backend, that is Spring Data JPA in your backend. So if you are new to this, then I will highly encourage you to watch the video from start to end, and I assure you that you will learn a lot from this video. So let's get started. So I will tell you the prerequisite for this application. Let me create a new project. That is, first you can use any IDE, and I'm using the Eclipse IDE for my Spring project. So just go to create file, new, then go to Spring Starter project. Okay. So in Spring, so whatever URL you can give. Now I'm just naming it Spring Data Backend. Let's name it one. Okay, Spring Boot Backend one. And this will be Maven project. Just choose the Maven if your Gradle is selected. And packaging will be jar, whatever. And you have to give the artifact. Whatever name you like, you can give. I will like to give the artifact like my Spring Boot, my Spring Boot backend. Okay, and what will be the package name? Spring Boot, Spring Boot, my Spring Boot. I'm going to give the package name. Okay, everything is now. Click next. Now here all are the dependency that we have to add in order to work with the Spring Data JPA. So first will be MySQL, MySQL driver, select it. Second, Spring Boot development tool. Just select this. Spring Data JPA. Just select this also. And lastly, that is Spring Web. And if the video will be longer, then I will stop the video. I will make a short video of 5 minutes, and yeah, in the next video I will tell you another thing. So just click on next. Everything will be imported. Just finish. Now it will take some time. It's loading here, 26%. So it is taking some time. So wait for some time. Yeah. So here you can see my project is created. My Spring. Okay, it's creating the file. Okay, the file is created. Now I will go to my Spring Boot data project. Okay, where it is, to refresh this. Spring Boot backend one. Yeah, here it is. Sorry, I forgot the name. Spring Boot backend one. I have given the name. Now, firstly, you have to configure your. Okay, so these are the JRE libraries that we need in our Spring Boot backend. Just JRE, and you can use the jar file also to include all the dependencies that are needed. And I will show you the dependencies. Okay, stop with this. It is pom.xml file I'm working on, and pom.xml file. So these are the dependency. It is loading. So you need all the dependency, that is Spring Boot backend. I've already shown you, but one more time I will show you that if you want to include it from websites, so just go to website. Hmm, wait, my laptop is just go on this website and we can, and here you will find all the repository for the dependency. Let MySQL. So I just use the Eclipse ID for importing all the dependencies that I needed. So you can use MySQL connector J. Just select one version that you needed. So which, let me select to it, and just include this in dependency from here. You can include this dependency from here also. You can see that both dependencies are the same. MySQL connector Java. So this is a dependency. You can include a dependency from here as well. MySQL connector Java. Okay. So both ways will be fine. Okay, just do this. Now the next thing is that I am going to create. I am going to connect my MySQL with my this Spring Data JPA, and Spring Data JPA, it is Java Persistent API. That is JPA is a Java Persistent API, and JPA generally use it. There are some of the framework that we use in JPA. That is, we can use Hibernate or MyBatis, any of the framework that you want. And benefit of using Spring Data JPA is that if you wanted to switch from Hibernate framework to MyBatis framework, you don't need to rewrite the whole code for the MyBatis. Just you need to use the Spring Data JPA that is providing you API, and you can easily switch on that. Therefore, we use the Spring Data JPA. Okay, fine up here. Now I'm going to connect my database with this Spring Data JPA. So there are some configuration files that I'm going to include in this. So let me include all the dependencies, all the files. So I will just copy all the files. Okay. Mm, Spring dot jdbc. Okay, spring dot data source dot url equals to, so just give the name of your url, jdbc mysql local host 30306 slash database name, whatever your database name. So I'm going to create a database for you guys. Just I'm going to mysql workbench. So in this video I'm going to just connect my database. So I'm just writing the configuration file for the database, and in the next section I'm going to connect my database with the Spring Data JPA. Okay, so I'm going to create a new database. I'm not going to write the whole query here. I'm just uh, create database my example JPA example. Okay, so I created database here. So where it is, JPA example table, and in table I'm going to create okay, it's create table name string. Let me give the table name as student. um, Student, so id will be student. I will get the id as student. It will be primary key and normal. Second will be roll number, Third will be roll number, and what is roll number, and third is, let me give the branch. Okay, so I'm going to create these three. Just click on apply. There's a economy matrix which allows workers correct and schematic table. Okay, so it will create the table. Finish. Just remove this and just go here. And I'm going to use and select asterisk down. What is my table name? That is this student. STU student. So yeah, good day. And the student table is created with the fields like ID, roll number, and branch. Okay, so now the next part is I'm going to connect my JPA example database with my this. So JPA, your database name should be here, JPA example. So yeah, its name is JPA example. Yeah, use JPA example. Okay, okay. So coming to this and use SSL equals to false. Now next is Spring dot data source. Spring dot data source dot username. So my username is root and Spring dot data source dot password. So my password is also root and Spring dot jpa dot database and platform equals to org dot hibernate, because we are using the Spring JPA Hibernate framework dot dialect means whatever whichever database we are using, RDBMS software we are using, we have to just give its name here dot. Let I'm using MySQL, so I'm giving the name MySQL 5 and you know DB dialect. Okay, so you have to go through this, go like this, and another thing is that Spring dot hibernate dot ddl auto equals to update. So it will automatically update, that is increment the ID. Next is I'm going to give the server port. So my this backend will run on the server port, that is 8080. So 8080 default 8090. Okay, so I configured the Spring file, my application.properties file, that is where our database configuration is made. Now coming to SRC, closing the SRC main resources, your work is done for here. Now go to SRC main Java, and here you have to create 4 packages. That is, I'm going to create the 4 packages. New package, that is your first package will be, that is a controller class. Okay, second package will be your repository class. Third package will be your third package will be, I'm going to tell you. Okay, I'm just forgetting, so I'm using exception exception package, and your fourth package will be So you have to create these four packages because these are the most important backend. These are the most important tasks that you have to do in order to configure your database and do the CRUD operation. Sorry, my language is sorry, a little dis- uh, lagging. And the fourth package that we have to include it. So, and the last and the most important package is that we have to include a model because we are going to create the model for our database. Okay, so I'm just creating the file for this model class, and in the next video I'm going to create the uh, for the interfaces for the repository and class file for these two. So here I'm going to just create the class file for this only, just defining this. uh, okay, just java lang dot object and name this I will this model class, let me student, let me name this student. Okay. Here I'm going to include also private int id, private private string name, private, and what other thing I've given is int roll number. Okay. So I'm going to quickly create the getter and setter method for this. So where the source, I'm going to create the getter and setter method. Select all and generate. And the next thing is that I'm going to create the constructor for this also, because is the constructor using field parameterized constructor for this. Just generate parameterized constructor, and you have to just create the uh, default constructor also for this with no. Okay, just I create the default constructor and just save it. Okay, what I have done. Okay, save. Okay, so in the next section I'm going to define the annotation over these classes. Firstly, I'm just creating that. So it is an entity, so I'm going to define entity here. I'm just importing the entity java org.hibernate annotation class. Okay, okay. I so up to here I'm stopping the video. So in the next section, I'm going to define all the annotation over these fields and configure the database with this backend. Okay.